Okay, we're going to start class now. Let's take attendance. We have Mouse, Duck, Gumby, Turtle, Pokey, Rabbit, Gonzo, Frog, and Bob. Okay, what we're going to do today is we're going to start with a game. All right? Now, what this game is called is Greed. So if you've already played this before, this is a simplified version of it because the real version would take us way too long. So how this works is we roll dice, and every time the two dice are rolled, you take the score in that dice, and that becomes part of your score. Then you roll a second time, and now there's an 11. We rolled an 11. The first two rolls, you add them together, no problem. But after the first two rolls, there's going to be a risk. At the end of every roll after the second one, you have to decide, do you want to go forward or do you want to stop and just take your score? Here's the risk. If the two dice roll together and roll a 5, you're out of the game and you lose all the points that you've gotten so far in that round. Okay? If it's anything other than a 5, say a 6, you keep adding it to your score, and we'll roll after roll after roll. When this round is over, when a 5 comes up, anyone still in the game when the 5 comes up gets a big 0 for that round. And we'll play 5 rounds all together, and we add the scores for the 5 rounds together. Whoever gets the most after 5 rounds wins. Okay? Good. All right, let's start. Now, let's roll. Okay, and the first, look, 12. That's a good score. Everybody write down on your piece of paper, or your blotter, that you got a 12. Great. Okay, now remember, there's no risk. We're going to keep going, okay? So, roll. Look, 11. We rolled an 11. Great. Okay, so you got a 12 and 11. What does that add to? 23. Right, very good. Okay, so who is happy with the 23 and is ready to stop right now? I'm stopping. Okay, Mouse is going to stop. Anybody else want to stop? Oh, I'll stop too. Okay, Pokey's going to stop. Anybody else? Ribbit. Okay, Frog's going to stop too. Great. Okay, so you guys have 23. Your risk is done for the day, but we got to keep rolling. Okay, so roll. Ooh, and it's an 8. We rolled an 8. Very good. Very good, everybody. Get back in the picture, dude. Okay, so you get to add 8 to your score. That gets us up to everybody right now has a 31. Who's happy and wants to stop with 31? Quack. Okay, Duck wants to stop. And who else? Rabbit wants to stop. Okay, so everybody else is going to keep on going. So we're going to roll. Ooh, it's a 6. We can keep adding up. Okay, that means the score is now 37. Who wants to step down? Anybody? No? Okay. We're going to keep going then. Roll. Oops. Look, it's a 5. Oh no, anyone still in the game at this point? You're out. So the people who have a 0 now are Turtle, Gumby, Gonzo, and of course, Bob. All right, so that's the first round. Everybody add up your totals, mark it down, okay? All right, good. Now let's start round 2. Now the key is you have to play this a lot because there's some strategy and it takes out some of the luck out of it. So let's look. Okay, rolling for the second time. Ooh, double 3s, very good. 6. So everybody gets 6. Roll again. Ooh, 7. So that's 13. Who wants to stop with 13 without... I'm stopping! Oh, okay. Does anybody else want to stop with 13 or does anybody else want to keep going? Okay, we're going to keep going. Okay. Oh, it's a 5. Everybody, wow. Mouse, you're the only one. You got 13 points. Everybody else got 0. Bummer. Okay, now. Oops. I lost one of my dice. Hang on. Okay. All right, so now round 3. We're going to roll. Okay, and we have 7. Okay, everybody gets 7 points for the first round. Mark that down. Okay, it's the second round. Okay, and it's a 4. Awesome. So now you have 11. Who wants to stop with just, I'm stopping? Okay, Mouse always wants to stop. Mouse, I sense that you're risk averse. Okay. All right, now the next round roll is a 9. Ooh, very good. All right, so 9 plus, uh-oh, I lost track. Okay, that makes 20. Who wants to stop with 20? Quack. Okay, Duck wants to stop with 20. Rivet, Frog stops at 20. Great. Okay, who wants to keep going? Everybody else wants to keep going? Okay, great. Oh, 5. Oops. 5. Oh, okay, everybody else has got a 0. Okay, so now we've got 3 rounds finished. What we're going to do is have a little intermission. We're going to play 2 more rounds, and then we're going to come back and see how everybody did. Okay? Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Okay, everybody's back. Well, we finished 5 rounds, so let's get the dice out of the way. We don't need dice anymore because that's the data for the day. Now, as you can see, we've got a lot of numbers. Here's Mouse's scores. Mouse's strategy was to quit after 2 rolls every single time. Okay, and Mouse totaled 79 points for 10 rolls. Okay, Frog's got a 91. And Bob, okay, Bob, try. Remember what I said about no flamethrowing in the classroom, but Bob's got 67. Okay, so let's look at this data. We've got a bunch of scraps of paper with scores on them. What do you think would be a good way to sort of at least gather the data into one spot at one time, just so we can kind of look at it a little more? Let's put it in order. Yes, very good idea, Turtle. Let's do that. Okay, so we have a 0. It looks like Gonzo kept rolling over and over and over again until he always hit a 5. He doesn't mind risk. Good job. Okay, 67. So we have a 0, a 67, 79, an 88, a 90, a 91, a 97, a 138, and Gumby got a 151. Yay! Hi, one Gumby. Woo! Hi, one. Okay, so Gumby won the game. And here, if you can see all the little scraps of paper where everybody's got their rounds. They've filled out which round it was, how many rolls in each one, and the total for each round added up for the grand total for the game after 5 rounds. So, good job. Okay. Well, we put them in order, and if there was enough room, we could have them all strung out in a row like this. Okay. But my camera doesn't go that well, so, you know. Here we go. So here's all this data. Now, sometimes, I bet you're noticing what's on the overhead projector. Okay, look at that. See, up here was where you got your charts from. Now this is called a histogram. Okay? That's where the range on the bottom, so here's the scores from, it looks like from 40 to 50, from 50 to 60 to 60 to 70, or whatever this measures. This is an example of a scatter plot where one axis, in this it showed the temperature, and based on the temperature, what were the sales? Okay, so that you can figure out what that's about. It looks like how are sales as the temperature goes up. Maybe this is an ice cream stand because as the scale goes, whoops, come back. Whee. Uh-oh. Arg, there we go. No, we don't want to say good evening. Go away. Okay, here we go. Let's just get this back. All right, so what do you think is wrong with this histogram? Anybody? Yeah, we don't, exactly. Rabbit, excellent thinking. It's not labeled. We don't know what this is, the axis. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to make our own histogram and a scatter plot to sort of see if we can see anything about this data that we might not notice just based on the totals that we wrote down as we went. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go on a little intermission once again, And when we come back, we're going to see how everybody did on their histogram and scatter plots. Okay? All right, here we go. Oh, wrong game show. Okay, back from intermission. All right, so now here are some examples of how we gathered all the data together. We were sitting and discussing it off on our own, and so we set up a chart with here's the round, here are the various players up top, and the ones who wish to disclose their strategies. It's written up there. This is their score for each round, and how many rolls they rolled when, during that round. So that's how we collected all the data in a chart. We also kept track as we went of all the rolls. So we want to keep this because we might need this data later. Okay, so let's just set this aside because we'll use that again and again and again, and it will add up. Okay, now let's see. Hi guys. So good job, everybody. All right, so let's look at a couple of histograms. So here are some histograms. Okay, no, I know, we'll put them over here. So here's a histogram. No, that's the sunlight looks pretty, but it's kind of hard to see. Okay, here is a histogram. Now you'll see that this axis is the total number of scores after 5 rounds, and here is the people with that score. Okay, the ranges here from 0 to 50, 50 to 100, 100 to 150, 150, so it's by 50. So one person got between 0 and 50, 6 people got between 50 and 100, one person was between 100 and 150, and one person was between 150 and 200. So that's a great histogram. Okay, that's absolutely right. Now, the other one's kind of interesting. The other team did it a little differently. See, what did they do different here? Right, different scale. I know somebody just jumped up and said that. So they did it by 20s. One person got between 0 and 20. Nobody got in the next 2 ranges. Between 60 and 80, there were 2. Between 80 and 100, there were 4. None in the next range, and then 1 in the next 2 ranges. So that breaks down, they're both absolutely correct. These are scores, and these are the number of people who got those scores. Okay, they're both correct. They just look different. All right, which one is more detailed? Right, this one's got more ranges, so that you can kind of, all the data that was marked in at 1 here is broken down into several here. Okay, so these are both great. Any questions? No? My students are so smart. They are, getting these all right. It's wonderful. Okay. All right, so now let's look at some histograms. All right, here's one. And here's another. Now, this is factually absolutely correct. And we talked about this, during intermission. These are the players along the bottom, and these are their scores. So each bit of data is one person, one score. So this is interesting. What would happen if we rearranged all these names so that players were in different orders? Right, I know somebody just said that the diagram would look completely different based on the order. Now, is there a way to order this? I mean, you can't really order people. Well, you can order them as much as you want, but they may not do what you want. Anyway, so that's interesting. It's factually accurate. But now here's another one. This is interesting. This team did it by total number of rolls during all 5 rounds. And there's a lot of little dots here that are labeled with the people and their scores. These are the total scores after the 5 rounds. And you can sort of see, here's one that's under 10 rolls. There's a lot of clustering around 15 rolls. The high scores were between 25 and 50, and then 54 rolls got you a 0 score again. So it may be that if you roll too many times, you're eventually going to hit 5. If you keep going and going and going, eventually, chances are pretty good that eventually you're going to roll a 5. So this is accurate, but this is more like a scatter plot where here is one thing that's changing and the other that is dependent on what happens here. Okay, so this is really good. This is factually accurate, really good idea. I probably didn't explain it clearly enough. Okay, that's on me, but good job. All right, so those are the examples of the scatter plots, and they look pretty good. All right, now what we're going to do next, let me get class back in order. Okay, you're having too much fun there. Okay, now here's another list of data.